Hello everyone, Harry Baldock here, editor for Total Telecom. We're here on day 2 of Connected Britain. I'm joined by Vimal Pindoria, Director of Routing and Switching Business Development, EMEA for Ciena. Vimal, how's your day going?
It's very well, thanks Harry. Yeah, it's been a busy couple of days. We're nearing the end of the show now, but we've had a lot of footfall, so it's been a good 2 days for us.
I'm glad to hear it. It's been a very interesting conference, and one of the big things that's been talked about a lot is the kind of current broadband landscape. Is it where it needs to be? What's your take on the broadband landscape in the UK?
Well, it's a really buoyant industry, and a lot happening in this industry. But I think something the pandemic's shown is that broadband really is a fourth utility. It's no longer a nice to have. It's needed for everything from working from home, remote learning, to all the e-services that we all consume in our daily lives. So yeah, it's a lot going on. I mean, some of the conversations that have been going on at the event are around what happens next. There's been a big sort of speed to get fiber deployed, really increase the speed of broadband. And what we're seeing is actually there's already now talk about overbuilds, possible consolidation in the sector. But most importantly, I think in the broadband landscape, what's clear is there's a huge amount of investment. I think some of the figures quoted from a few months ago was private equity up to $18 billion worth of investment. So there continues to be money, a lot of build. The bill's increasing. I think the big theme now is how do we get the connection? So we're building the networks, and how do we give that sort of customer experience that people want from that faster connection that they're able to get once you get fiber to the home.
And that leads me quite nicely to the second question about one of those technologies that's kind of facilitating that, which is PON, which is a really hot topic right now. Where do you think PON fits into this story?
Yeah, so indeed, PON is it's a point-to-multipoint technology, and it's really coming into its own where fiber to the home typically is fiber all the way into the premise, so whether that's a business premise or residential premise. So it's used as a cost-effective technology initially to kind of get that vast fiber infrastructure in the ground. What's happening now with PON as well, especially with XGS PON, is it's moving away from that older best efforts internet type of connections for residential into use cases for business. So some of those are non-residential, so connectivity over a PON build for small medium businesses. It used to be that was point-to-point Ethernet, but it's also even moving into how do we use PON for other types of services. There's even conversation, people on different sides of the fence around using it as possible backhaul for small cells in the 5G world. So yeah, no, PON's absolutely hot. I think our experience is most people seem to be building now with XGS PON, which is 10 gig symmetrical PON. And yeah, the builds, I think there's around 130 altnets in the UK at the moment, if not a few more, and predominantly they are building with PON technology.
Very excited to see where PON goes next. My next question was really about the benefits of using a converged access network and how that will help these service providers to get new lines of business, I suppose.
Yeah, so in Ciena, we very much speak about convergence. So it's convergence of network layers for one, but also convergence of technologies. So I spoke about XGS PON and the vast application of PON in general, but actually if you were able to converge what typically used to be individual equipment for an ONT for PON, as well as your IP Ethernet switches, in Ciena we've actually have an XGS PON as a pluggable. So a XGS PON OLT as a pluggable that goes into the layer 2-3 equipment, and we further converge the architecture by also putting our optical DWDM pluggable. So what that means for an operator, it's really where the network was really built in silos, different networks for different types of services, be it residential, business, mobile. You're able to converge that all onto a common platform, and in our case also with a software layer which orchestrates and automates across the multiple elements. So I mean, for us, convergence is around bringing cost efficiency. So it's really by taking those layers out of a network and converging the different aspects of a network, bring lower cost points, also the ability to bring new revenue on quickly. So as I explained earlier, we are moving into residential business as well as mobile services over a common network. So with convergence, bringing PON as a sort of connection medium all onto one platform. From Ciena World, it's really what we say behind it. It's buy it once and sell it 3 times. So that's really what we're promoting in Ciena.
Perfect. Vimal, thank you so much for your time today. It's been great to speak to you.
Thank you, Harry.